Hey, a lot of people are asking me right now, how do I pick the right coach for me? Do I go with a psychologist? Do I go with a therapist? Do I go with a performance coach? What do I do? Here's what I tell everyone. This is great advice for anyone you're looking to have help you. And now listen, I am a coach, performance coach. If you want help with something, let me know and I might be able to help you. Having said that, you need to look for these things in a coach, okay? On one hand, you need somebody who's going to kick your butt every once in a while. You need somebody who's going to be honest. You need somebody that is going to be willing to tell you the way it is rather than simply things that you like to hear. On the other hand, you also need somebody who is personable, who's not simply going to kick you in the teeth every time you see them. But it also depends on your personality, okay? So the first two things to pay attention to are, is this person both likable? Do you like and respect this person? Are they good in their field? As well as, are they going to challenge you in different ways, okay? The next group of things that you look at is what you're after. So I've got a lot of people, I work in real estate investing a lot, and a lot of people go with a real estate investor as a coach. Now that's okay, that's fine. Keep in mind that if you are a driver personality, if you've got the kind of personality that nothing stands in your way, you're told something and you do it. If that's what kind of personality you have, then yeah, those kind of coaches are fantastic, okay? Now again, make sure they're a good person, make sure that they're someone you respect, someone that you like and you're gonna listen to, and safe to share things with when you fail, but also somebody who's gonna tell you the way it is, okay? For the driver personality. If you are not the driver personality, most of my clients aren't. Driver personalities typically get things done. So they're not typically looking for coaches. They find coaches when their family's struggle and other things happen, okay? Because other things are falling apart. Here's what I want to tell you. If you lack self-confidence, if you get stuck with certain things and you find that's what you need help with, is you want to get unstuck. You know what you need to do, okay? You know what you need to do, you know everything you need to do. Maybe when you were a kid, somebody said to you, why don't you do that? And you go, I'm not sure. And somebody says, do you know what to do? And you go, yeah, I do know what to do. And they said, why didn't you do it? And you go, I don't know, okay? If that's your response when your husband, your wife, your partner, your child, or your parent, or your colleague, or your boss, or whoever says, hey, why aren't you doing this? You know what you need to do, right? And you go, yeah. You go, why aren't you doing this? You go, I don't know. If that's where you're at, then I'm going to suggest you typically lack self-confidence in certain ways, okay? When we lack self-confidence, we get scared about what we're going to be doing, about what is demanded from us, and then we don't take action because of the fear. Again, I've talked about this before. If fear is attached to what you want in life, then you're not going to want. You're not going to get what you want. You're not going to move forward to it, okay? So the gap between knowing this, you know what you need to do, right? You know what you need to do to lose weight or gain muscle mass or live a healthier life or do better relationships or do better in business or make more sales calls or whatever it is, right? More fulfillment in life. You know these things. You've got the information in your head. So that's this part of it, okay? It's called the knowing, doing gap. Bob Proctor talks about this all the time. So there's all this that you know. And then you have to ask yourself, am I doing what I already know how to do? So a lot of people come to me and say, Mark, I want this in life. Okay, so what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm not doing anything for it. Well, what do you know? Well, actually, they know quite a bit. So there's this knowing, doing gap. There's all this stuff that we know, and then we don't do it. We go to school for years and years and years and years, and we don't use any of it, or use very little of it, okay? And that's partially on the school system's shoulders, but it's also partially on our shoulders of not getting things done. So if you are one of those people who has this knowing, doing gap, you know all these things you need to do, but you're not doing them, then what you need to do is close the gap. That's what you need. And you know what? If you're in real estate investing, a real estate investment coach is probably not going to be able to tell you that. Most of them, not all of them. Some are fantastic. Okay, so be careful with what I'm saying. If you want to work on relationships, a relationship coach sometimes is they should be able to do this, okay? But sometimes they don't. A therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, sometimes they're going to be helping you look at yourself and get a lot of self-awareness, which is good. It's a fantastic thing. I've been a therapist before, okay? But having said that, they also need to give you the practical application. So what you need is a coach who's going to give you a lot of self-awareness, information, but then pair that with some action steps. What are you going to do about it? And if you're not doing things, they've got to have an ability to help you through the process, to say, hey, listen, maybe try this, maybe try this. What's getting in the way? Let's try more self-awareness. Let's work on information. Do you have something gap there? If it's not working, try something else. A great coach is going to be able to do that. Now, I've got this good friend that constantly tells me, don't push a string, okay? Pushing a string, it doesn't go anywhere, right? You can't lead a horse to water, or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. We've got all these idioms in our culture. And it's true, you've got to do it yourself. So, first is the driver personality. The second is the person who goes, there's this gap in me, I don't know what to do. This is what I'm going to suggest. What I want you to do is think about what you want and what you don't want and where you're going. And as you start to discover that, as you start to think about that and go, wait a second, I'm not going where I want to go. I'm not getting what I want to get out of life. Then I want you to go with somebody who's more on the personal development side. Somebody who's on the personal development side, that's my area of expertise, that's a lot of people do this, but somebody who's going to walk with you. Don't simply buy a program. Don't buy, just because it's cheap, 50, 100 bucks, 300 bucks, 500 bucks, just because something's inexpensive, don't buy it thinking it's going to change your life. That's the same as reading books. You've read books, okay? What you need is not to read more books. What you need is to do things that you already know how to do. And if that's the case, you need to have somebody walk with you a little bit, okay? That's going to be more expensive. It's true, it's going to be more expensive. But having said that, to me, I look at things as the cost of doing something and the cost of not doing something. So this is an encouragement to you. And it doesn't matter if it's me. You can go to find a coach that works for you, okay? But you need to think about this and go, what is the cost if I don't do something? I want you to think about this. What is the cost to me and my family and my business, like the financial cost, the relationship cost, the stress cost? What is the cost to me if I don't take any action? What is the cost if I do take action? There's time, money, and energy that you're going to invest in this, right? In yourself. And if you do so, you're going to place yourself in a very small group of people on this planet that work to grow themselves, other than simply reading a book every once in a while, okay? Sometimes it's helpful, and this is going to sound really weird, sometimes it's helpful to be in a crisis. In my experience, most people are unwilling to change where they're at or how they're seeking out to do anything differently unless something goes wrong. I'll give you an example. So I had a girlfriend at the end of high school, and I'm not saying anything bad about her right now, okay? I had a girlfriend, and she ended up, well, a lot of people around me said, this person is not right for you, Mark, okay? That's to put it kindly, the way they were talking to me, okay? They said, this person isn't right for you. Do you think I listened to them? No. Why? There's an emotional connection. There's an emotional connection to what I'm already doing. I've already invested something in it, okay? Now, eventually this girl cheated on me, all right? She was making out, doing other things with other guys, all right? And that hit me really hard. That's when I started thinking about, wait a second, I might need to make some changes here. And I did make some changes here. Now, having said that, I didn't make long-lasting changes, because guess what? I had 2 other girlfriends after that, and they both ended up cheating on me, okay? They both ended up finding other relationships. Now, the first time this happened, I thought, I've got to change something. So I changed the relationship. I broke up with her. The second time happens, I broke up. I changed the relationship. The third time, but I started to realize, wait a second, I need to change something about me. So when I came to these repeated crises in my life, they weren't astronomical crises, but at the same time, they were little crises. And when I started to deal with them properly, when I started to think, wait a second, I need to do something different. It's about me. There's a pattern. I get cheated on. What does that say about me? What am I doing right or wrong? Well, guess what? Once I started figuring that out, everything changed in my next relationship, okay? My next relationship after that is the relationship I still have. We've been married for 11 years as the recording of this video, okay? And we're not married in the sense that every day is delight and glee, because it's not. But we make a decision to care about each other's hearts every single day, every single week. And when we make mistakes, when we do crazy things, we come back and go, hey, listen, we are involved in this relationship. And because of the way we were interacting with each other, we've got a very strong relationship. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Is it fantastic? It is fantastic. With all of its bumps and bruises, it is fantastic because we're both learning and growing. And because of that, we're being challenged and adding value to each other all the time. So why am I telling you this story? If we don't have a crisis in our lives, we probably aren't going to get to the next level. And sometimes we need repeated crises in our lives in order to take the next step and to make a change in our lives that we really need to change. So here's my encouragement. And this is why I said, if you're struggling with the knowing doing gap, what I want you to do is I want you to create the crisis in your life. Not, I don't want you to run your car off a cliff. I don't want you to do something crazy, okay? What I do want you to do is think, where am I going? If I keep doing these things, where am I going to end up? What are my relationships going to be? What is my physical health or emotional health or mental health going to be like? Well, where's my business or my finances? What are they going to be like if I keep taking the same journey? Because when you go there, your mind can go off on itself and go crazy. You know this. You don't sleep at night when this happens. And all of a sudden, you're in a place where you're like, this is going to be awful. Good. That's like creating the crisis in your life. Not because you've created something new. You've simply followed the line of reasoning that is going to happen anyway. And once you're able to do that, you're able to ask yourself, what am I willing to do right now? And that helps us make decisions, okay? So make a decision. This is what I'm going to say. I love talking about decisions. A decision is a promise that you make to yourself that you keep. A decision is a promise that you make to yourself that you keep. That's what a decision is. Everything else is just desires and hopes and pipe dreams, okay? Make a decision today to do what you need to do, to take action in a way that you need to take action. And listen, if you're like me, you're going to need help often. You're going to need help over and over and over again. And if you need that, then find help from a coach. Not from a program. Hire somebody to walk you through that process, okay? If you don't have that driver personality. And when you do that, you're going to get the help because they're going to encourage you, going to help you with self-confidence and help you in those other ways by tackling things and going, hey, what's happening here? What do we do differently? How can we grow? When you have someone like that that's consistently willing to connect with you and help you over and over and over again, then what happens is you grow. And you're going to grow far, far faster. You do a lot of growth in 6 months to a year, far more than you would do sometimes in 10 or 15 years without one, okay? So I encourage you, find a coach. Always find a coach. I've always got a couple of coaches in my life. Always, okay? And if you learn everything you can from one person, great, move on. If you haven't learned everything from one person, stick with them. Keep learning from them, okay? But take action today. Make a decision, make a promise that you make to yourself, and keep it to do something different. And enjoy this. If you have any questions about this, put some questions in the comment box. I'm happy to connect with people and help you out a little bit, okay? Enjoy the day.